All right.
Hello and welcome to our Saving Live. Um,
Hello.
I'm happy that we can make it. I'm sorry for the short delay. We had some technical issues now as well, not just organizational, but also getting everything going. It has been a while.
But everything is should be working now. Please ping us if you see any issues with my audio or anything else. It's possible, but I'm very thankful that we are here now. Thank you,
Yeah,
Rafael.
and Innovative Dev already is here and is waving. Thank you for joining us.
Nice.
Um, Yeah, again, it has been a while. As usual, though, YouTube chat is, of course, absolutely fine, but I think, Victor, you as well are more on Discord, or that's probably easier for you to
Yep.
read as well.
Yep.
So I
That's correct.
will probably look for the. Um, Thank you. Thank you for letting us know that everything works from an audio perspective. That was the holdup for the last 5 minutes, making sure the audio works. Um, but yeah, again, so please go for Discord if you especially want to address Victor, and I will have a look on the YouTube stuff. But Victor, we had some stuff we wanted to give updates. We wanted to let people
Sure.
ask us questions again, but the main thing, of course, today is we want to talk about the handover. We want to talk about the state
Yep.
of that and the different teams. And I
Yeah.
know that you talked with a couple of folks in advance. So can you share some light, like what is happening? And for everybody else listening,
Yeah.
just quickly, just write questions in. I will prepare them, and Victor will probably answer most of them.
Yeah.
So
Appreciate the moderation. Listen, I was thinking about the. I was driving home in a car before this, and I was thinking that maybe we should just start with like the basics. Maybe some people watching this or just looking up the YouTube channel or watching it now. Uh, I've seen that some people wasn't really aware yet that Safing is now operated, is going to be operated by a VPN. So yeah, if you just maybe you have been a Safing user and you tune into the first live in a year, like who is this person? Like, yeah, just so I'm representing IVPN in this call. I'm the operational lead at IVPN. IVPN has a CEO, Nicholas, who have founded the company, and yeah, we are a small team. We have 12 people at the moment, and yeah, we have acquired Saving as a company and Portmaster and SPN as a product to operate it, build it, improve it, and integrate it into like a suite of products in the future that we would like to work on. So yeah, that's the base. I just wanted to start with that, but
absolutely.
I think that comes with with some implications. I think some questions over the past weeks I've tried to be a little bit more active on Discord as well. Like, who are these guys? Okay, a VPN company have purchased Safing, and now they're not independent and stuff like that. Yeah, it would sound scary to me as well. So yeah, as a user,
Especially, there are so many bad actors in the VPN space, and
exactly.
so yeah, no. I guess the people who are watching, Innovative Dav and Mike, both of them, yeah,
Yeah,
are aware that IVPN is one of the good ones. But yeah, I mean, especially like in such a space where there are so many, and everybody in the mom has taken some data, but IVPN
that's
has
right.
been a very good steward for a long time and very much respected. So I wholeheartedly agree.
I appreciate it.
And I think people can watch our last one, like the last two live streams. I think was between the
Yeah,
two of us, and I think we shared a lot about that in the past. So please, if you have questions, ask them. That's absolutely
yeah,
fine. But a
yeah.
lot of it has been covered in the past situations as well. And I think if you ask anybody in the privacy community, yeah, IVPN has been a very good steward for a very long time now. So yeah,
I appreciate that, and I know, and we have said this before, but you wouldn't have done
yeah,
this otherwise if you wouldn't be confident, and that I respect that a lot, and that's nice to hear, and yeah, but yeah, as we said, and as others have noted, I completely agree with actions speak louder than words notion. We can say anything, but you have to be have to be in the know about our conduct in the past. We are one of the most transparent providers, and we will keep that spirit. So yeah, I have we have nothing to hide. We have no obfuscated things. We have no secret strategy or anything like that. We are very upfront and very very transparent about what we do and why we do it. So yeah, that's the point I wanted to get across. Like we are a small idealistic team, and yeah, we are not here to screw anyone over or make any promises that we won't keep and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
and this
yeah,
has been. I think this has been. Maybe that's good. This was not on our schedule for today, but maybe that's good for me to address publicly as well. You have been
sure.
asking me a ton throughout the whole process, like even back in 2024. What did I say? What promises did I make? What did we communicate publicly? And you want to adhere to that to a very
Yeah,
high degree. There were some bad actors, and I might have said this or wrote this on the Discord as
yeah,
well. There have been some bad actors who wanted to take advantage of this. I will, if anybody is telling Victor, I promised something to them. We are in communication, and he asks me, and if I
yeah,
say
definitely.
no, then I guess it's on him if he wants to honor somebody who is lying to him and telling him that I said something. But no, I appreciate that a lot. That you want to
Okay,
stick to what even I promised that Safing will do in the future and stuff like that. So that is
that's right.
very I like that a lot, and I think people appreciate that as
Appreciate
well.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Going back to your question, handover. Um, Yeah, so overall, the status of the handover is we had broken down this whole process into like major parts, some technical, some non-technical. I was responsible for most of the non-technical parts. We have people in our team who have deep experience in their field, in development, in security, in infrastructure side, and we have specific people responsible for specific parts, so they know all the intricacies about what's going on in there. But of course, I know about the status. Generally, most or all of the non-technical parts, so customer service, payments, operational matters, all this kind of stuff, that's done. And I think we are, as part of the IVPN team, we are responsible for that. And on the more technical side, on the infrastructure side, we have taken over the responsibilities on the infrastructure. I think like 99%. Um, Maybe there's some things to close with the V2 release, but yeah. And the open thing there is on the development side. So as you might have seen, or those listening to this are probably aware that there is a beta out for the V2 release, and the story with that is that most of that release and most of the components of that were prepared by the original team. So Safing and Vladimir primarily, and we had made some joint decisions on what to include, and what they consulted with us on, like how to move forward with that. And on our side, we have one person who will be full-time responsible for Portmaster development. You might have seen him on the GitHub repos. It's popping up with commits. His name is Sasha Alexander, and he's involved in the V2 release very closely. So because he's of course learning by doing, asking questions. We try to understand all the different parts. It's not a simple system. It's like the Portmaster and the SPN. If you add everything together, you guys have been working on it for many years. But this is what gives the value, and that's why we are very excited to work on this, and we see a lot of potential. So, but yeah, so the V2 release is ongoing as a joint effort by the previous
Yeah.
team, and with the key involvement of Sasha. And we also have Nathan and Daniel, who are responsible for the SPN and the infrastructure side. And when that V2 release is wrapped up in a couple of weeks, end of April, we'll see. Then after that, our aim is that IVPN and the IVPN team members will fully operate all parts of Safing, Portmaster, and SPN. And at that point, you will be available for any questions. So the Rafael and Daniel and Vladimir will be available. But our aim is to let them work on their own thing, and to also just
Take
learn by doing
responsibility.
and trial by fire. So that's we just want to move to that step sometime in April. So that's the idea.
Yeah. And it has been working great. And that again, it has also been cool seeing how good the people are that are already part of IVPN, and that it's people who have, and you said small team, but it's bigger than what Safing was before, and so especially on the programming side, so it is more input, different people see different things and stuff like that. So super cool, super cool. Thank you, Mike, for also his comment on Discord regarding support for like continued support for that process, and saying, well, IVPN has been like a very good choice, and also Innovative Dev, who has
Appreciate
also been saying, well, this is awesome, and IVPN has been very good in the past, and so we thought so as well, and I think we said so in the blog post also. So we feel it's a win-win-win situation, and that's super cool. That's of course always nice.
And just maybe it's a good segue. I wanted to touch on like one thing that also came up, just going back to this VPN company thing. So I there are things that we don't want to promise because we are not 100% sure, and we cannot lock those decisions down. We can talk about this a little bit if we're going to have time about the
Please.
future plans and stuff like that. But what I can promise is that the key things that made, I think, Safing and your philosophy and how you run this company and how you make product choices, I think there is a very close alignment with how we think about things. And I can promise a couple of things, which is, so for example, the open source thing, or so we are not going to make any rash, unexpected corporate like choices in these kind of matters of like, yes, take it to closed source and start licensing it, or start increasing the prices because there are no good substitutes. So we know, we have a lot of experience in business and running technology companies, but we have a very similar philosophy in this sense. So again, we are a small, idealistic team. We feel that we are on a mission. Of course, it's a business, so we are not going to make any decisions that would jeopardize. And that's why it's an interesting problem and question as well, because if you engineer it and price it in a way that it's fair but still creates profits, that's what sustains a company for long term. And I think for a VPN company or anything that you pay for a long time, and you rely on it, and you trust them, you want that. So, and that's why we say, for example, if a VPN is very cheap, for example, that's red flag. There's either something going on in the background that they monetize it in some other fashion, or they are going to be out of business in a year. So
if they're teaching,
anyways,
absolutely, I agree. But Mike actually asked, and I don't know if you read this question, but Mike asked question 1: for promotional purposes and to bring in more customers, will there be any price changes or promotions down the line? Can you share a little bit of ideas and plans, and maybe give some time?
I can.
Okay. We'd love to hear.
I've been thinking about this because we actually talked about this a couple of days, completely off the cuff, not related to anything. But I've shared with you some of our ideas, and of course, here, in the spirit of transparency, I will share as much as I can. But what I don't share right now is because we are not 100% sure how it's going to go. That's the only reason. But what I can share is that, so first, promotions. We used to do like Black Friday deals with IVPN, and some different kind of discount plans and Black Friday, and we had some like Wirecutter. We were featured in Wirecutter, and we had some deals like that. We phased those out largely for a number of reasons, but mainly is we don't believe that it's sustainable and also fair as much.
Yes.
So there's one day where you can buy it for half price. Why not on the others? Like it's not sustainable. I don't think it's a good way to conduct these things. So go ahead.
And if you're losing money on those people, everybody else has to pay for them. For a service, this does not make sense. For software, I see
there's always a catch. There's always a catch for someone. Someone has to pay the price. So
So I absolutely agree. And of course, Safing did not do that. either. Like we had one fun thing for Valentine's Day once, but
Yeah.
except for that one thing, we never repeated it. And for us, it was the same situation where we're like, okay, good, this can bring us a couple more users, but it doesn't. And again, like I think we're fairly aligned, and I think that the community
Yeah.
around safing um, understands. So if you don't, please ask questions regarding this. But you
Okay.
said so, yeah. I already know a couple of things. What can you
Yeah.
share? Like I think some more concrete things could be cool to
Sure.
know and to
Yeah.
expect for people,
Yeah. Yeah. What I can, I will
especially
share now.
the intersection between IVPN and safing. And I think
Yeah.
there might be a couple of things you want to share in regards to how you're thinking about this for now. Maybe
Yeah.
phrase it like this: you're thinking about it this way right
Sure.
now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, as you're saying,
No, I understand.
stuff
I
can
understand.
change in the future. And I read the other
Sure.
questions now.
Yeah, but just shout out to thanks, Mike, for the promoting both saving and IVPN. Happy about it that you have this trust in our in what we do. That's great. Uh, so going back to the promotional and bringing more customers, we have been hard working about thinking about our strategy in the future and how we have. IVPN, we have a Portmaster, and I don't think that this is new information. I think we have mentioned this maybe somewhere on Reddit or maybe some of the blog posts in our yearly plans, but we have been also bringing in new people to work on new products, and we have two other products in development, and one of them is going to go to open beta for a subsection of IVPN customers uh, soon. I I don't want to give timelines, but in Q2, um, and that's an email forwarder tool, very similar to some of those out in the market, and already simple login, um, and that's one. And the second thing that we are working on is a DNS filtering tool, which is there's some intersection, of course, with the VPN and also with Portmaster. Um, and I think it's very exciting to build this kind of like a suite of products. So with the DNS filtering tool, you can use it separately, and it's going to be a DNS resolver where you can set block lists, set your own rules, allow lists, deny lists, wildcards, all the different things. There are existing solutions for this on the market. So how we think about this going into the future is is that you have a um, different tools that offer different parts of the network monitoring, network connection analysis, and how you can gain more control over these parts. So you have the VPN, you have the DNS filtering, which is a little bit more advanced, and then you have Portmaster. But the idea is they can all play and work together. So you can use all this together to get all these benefits. So that's one of the things that we are working towards. And I think the other thing is, which is quite um, self-evident, and the logical next step is to integrating VPN tunnels into Portmaster. So closer integration. That would be, I think, we are just exploring that. We are just looking at the code, and Sasha's trying to understand like the work involved there. But I think that would be for IVPN only. But you would be not forced to use IVPN. So like, I mean, so you can still use your VPN provider and have this compatibility that you have now. But in terms of a deeper integration, I think that would be IVPN only. But again, this can change. But that would be a next logical step. And just to tie it into what Mike was asking, we haven't finalized this, and we are not going to announce it unless it's live. So, and it will take some time, but we are thinking about how to or make these services and make IVPN a little bit more accessible to Portmaster users. So if you can, I can hint at that. If you come into IVPN or come into these other services, come into Portmaster, we are thinking about ways to tie all this together, so you don't have to pay for individually everything. Maybe get some discount, get some deal, so to say. But the exact outlines of that and the exact details of that we haven't locked down yet. We are 80% there. So yeah, I think people are going to be happy about it. That's all I can say. That's my assumption. So it's worth waiting for it or anticipating some sort of a. If you use multiple tools in this, that kind of tool set that I mentioned, VPN, DNS filtering, portmaster, maybe an email forwarder, you will likely be able to get a good deal, which I wouldn't consider promotion, but in a sense that building a path forward which is sustainable and available to everyone at every time at a good price. That's what we are trying to work towards. So that's our goal here.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to add there as well, where I'm like, okay, good, this is not a time gated thing, as far as I assume and saw already, but I understand that it's. And maybe just to pinpoint a little bit further, I guess from a price perspective, you don't want to, as you're talking about this in regards to promotion, because you don't want to raise prices and you don't want to increase it by whatever, but make it attractive and sort of like stick in the same ballpark at least.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think just based on our conversation, what we had with internally about this so far, I don't think that the prices are going to change. So you won't be able to get Pro cheaper and SPN cheaper, but it's not going to be more expensive either.
Yeah, but you
And
want
also
to
the plus. So that's the
have more
most likely
stuff.
path forward. Uh, but it's not going to be more expensive either. So yeah, but again, this is where we are at. This can
Yeah,
change. I don't want to give any kind of like specific promises here. So
absolutely.
yeah, that's it.
don't don't let me nail you down on anything in that regard. But I wanted to sort of like tell people there will be for you will get more for the same price. So I guess that's sort of like where it's going. Innovative Dev also was asking on the Discord about stuff like hypervisor integration and Hyper-V adapters on Windows, stuff like that. Is there, do you, like, where in the, you already mentioned earlier, like V2 is currently the development roadmap. Do you want to share a little bit about direct, and you said about the VPN integration afterwards and stuff like that. How concrete are stuff? How do you already have a wish list of things internally? Do you keep track of that stuff? How do you keep track of that? Can you share stuff like this? And where should people maybe go with feature requests from now on and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's a good point. So I good question. So in regards to the question by Innovato Dev, I cannot tell you exactly. I don't have this. We don't have this on the roadmap, and I haven't
Yeah,
looked into this. And Sasha and our team will be the best placed. What I can say is that what I do right now, I monitor all Discord conversations, and if you go back, you can see I respond. Okay, add it to my list. Add it to my list. And so at a certain point, we are going to collect all this feedback and all these requests. So if you have anything, you can DM me. You can put it into beta feedback. You can put it into more like maybe into general, I guess. Um, but yeah, so we are happy to collect this via Discord. We are happy to collect it via email to our support. Our dedicated customer support at Jordan, I think he's doing an excellent job. He's ready to like collate all these requests, all these feedback from you. And but for now, we won't be able to respond to this specifically because we are in this handover period. And once we are done with that, and with the V2, so in a couple of weeks, or maybe sometime next month, we are going to draw the line and say, okay, now we are ready to take this next step
yeah,
and put forward a roadmap for maybe 2 quarters. And for that, we have some of our own ideas. We will get input from you guys. We've already done so, but we can also and collect all the feedback from the community. So
yeah.
how that will work, maybe we'll have some sort of survey as well. I was thinking about that. We'll see, but I would definitely like to get a sense, especially for Plus and Pro users, on what they would like to see, what they are missing, what they are not satisfied with, what would give the most value for them, and then we'll get all this together and decide on the major developments and like the minor things to put on a roadmap.
I absolutely understand, and maybe when you said like get a roadmap, that won't be probably public either, because as you're currently working, I understand. Similar to how we worked, going public with information is best done when you actually know when it's released, and I guess everybody who has worked in software knows like you always underestimate. And even if you put in buffers and you think, well, we're doubling the time and it's still stuff happens, it takes longer. And at that point, maybe like it took the one feature took longer, and then you look and you survey the situation and you're like, we planned this feature, but now this makes much more sense because we're already in
Yep.
there. We had some code that we already looked at maybe and stuff like that. So yeah, stuff is always open to change, but you are going to have an internal roadmap about upcoming features. So if people maybe want to send in requests for maybe then the survey as you're saying, so that you already have some multiple choice stuff in there, maybe now is a fairly okay time to send this in, since we're in the wrapping up phase of V2. And then so you can impact future development, but don't
Definitely.
expect everything to happen all at once.
Yeah, that's the problem with the many things to do, not enough time to do them. That's the usual problem at companies like ours. Um, yeah, what I can say is that how we approach it with IVPN, we have considered a public roadmap. I think we talked about this in one of the lives. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen in a sense that we'll publish everything all the time and update it all the time. But what we do with IVPN is when we have like major things that we are working on. So, for example, on IVPN side, we are working on a new infrastructure where it's this less servers and some other improvement areas which are very much due now and timely. We have said, okay, this is a major project. We are going to work on this. We started last year, and we aim to roll out the first of these servers this year, and that's it. We're not gonna give deadlines or anything like that beyond that because it's just not sustainable. So just to give you one example on the portmaster side, let's say we have some major project ideas or like improvement ideas. One of that is the VPN tunnels. One of them is like maybe the continuing with the Android developments or maybe support on some other OSs. So we will probably need to pick one of these because these are multi-week or more like multi-month or maybe multi-quarter projects. We will know that okay, this makes the most sense. So this is going to be the key focus. Of course, minor things can come in and we can make improvements, and of course fixing bugs, that's going to always happen, but we will give some visibility into what is our main focus on the major improvement side. So that's the idea here.
Super good. Super good. Great. Okay. I guess those are all the open questions. Do you want to continue maybe sharing some other stuff that we talked about
uh,
in advance?
sure. I think we had there were some questions about SPN. That's what I've seen pop up on Discord, and that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit. Maybe tie all those together. um, And we have addressed this, I think, in the blog post as well, and some of the lives as well. Just want to reiterate, yeah, the SPN won't go away. It's not like a VPN company purchase Portmaster and okay, let's go, let's shut down SPN. We have a lot of respect and a lot of excitement about the SPN technology, and we will work on it and scale it to the extent that there is the demand for it. So if that demand comes, and there will be more need for that, I would be very happy. We are not going to put in a lot of effort and also infrastructure resources and all this kind of stuff without seeing that demand. So just this is like expectation management. Don't expect that like we'll come in and add, I don't know, dozens of SPN nodes. That's not very likely, but might happen.
Is
But with the community nodes, that the last thing I wanted to say is I think we had someone approaching us with setting up a new node recently. So that's an open thing, and it works as it was intended, and we keep it working as it was intended. And and SPN is going to be a major, value add, like a major feature in the Portmaster
yeah.
app going forward. So yeah.
And as I keep on saying, just adding servers is not the right way with SPN anyway, because like it's about mixing traffic, and if you double the server count, you have the amount of traffic that goes like on average across each of the servers. So just adding servers might look cool, but in reality, it decreases privacy. It decreases the benefits that SPN actually brings. And so yeah. And I think, like, as you were hinting at with the bundle thing, I think something that is fairly safe to say. You can of course say I said it. I'm not making any promises. But if there is an option where you're paying for VPN and SPN next to each other for a good price, you can of course then choose and have this for the things that need speed, use the VPN, and then use not just the VPN mode with import mask, but like proper just
Yeah,
VPN protocol, which is lighter, which comes, like, as we have in so many blog posts discussed, and you as well have honest blog posts about this, with all the limitations that VPN brings with it, but the speed increases it has, and then use SPN for the sensitive stuff. And
exactly.
as you're saying, like, the integration with IVPN into Portmaster is something that you're looking at and something that you want to invest into. And I'm not involved into this, but what I presume in a future request I may be adding in there is having both of them
Please
active at
do.
the same time, and having maybe the option to then have 3 settings within each application. My request live now, so you hear this for the first time. But of course, like, that would be awesome. And Portmaster as a technology, I think, takes a lot of development, absolutely. But as technology is in the position where you can have this,
Yeah,
to have different sections for this, and have maybe then 3 options: use SPN, use VPN, or use ignore any tunneling whatsoever. And I think this
makes sense.
might have the most flexibility in that regard and stuff like that. So I know
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
jumping the gun
Just
here
to
a little
okay.
bit, but later down the road, maybe
Now, yeah.
2027.
I know
Yeah,
you don't want to put this in like a bad spot with like making promises for us, but yeah, what I can say, what you said makes a lot of sense. I think for me as a user, it
yeah.
would be like the ideal future. So it makes a lot of sense. Of course, we need to figure out the details, the technical, roadblocks there that we have to remove, and
Yeah.
also about this like pricing. Where do you pay? What do you pay? Is it is it all connected? Is it free? We are figuring this out. This is one of my major projects for the next couple of weeks and Q2 to figure all this out and to make it happen. So I'm very much deeply involved in this right now, and I can say that all the plans that we have in front of us, I think people who want these kind of things see this vision come to fruition and be very affordable and a good value for them. I think they will be happy, but that's all I can promise right now.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, maybe, but one thing I want to mention here as well that came up in earlier conversations. We already said this as well, but just want to reiterate that you will never be forced to use IVPN. So if you want Portmaster and you want to use it with your own VPN provider, or you just want to use SPN, or you just want to use the Plus and not care about the VPN stuff, you will not be forced to say, okay, you need to use IVPN. You need to ditch your other VPN provider, or Portmaster only works if you pay for IVPN separately and you authentic. We're not going to do anything like this. It's always going to stay as a separate product. What can change, and I think I mentioned this last time, there might be things if you want to get extra benefits, or you want to take advantage of these other products and everything else, you might need to go to the IVPN.net .net to maybe get some of these authentications, some features and stuff like that. So we are still figuring that out. But if you don't want to, if you say, I just want my Portmaster, I just want the SPN, I just want to use it with whatever VPN provider, you will be absolutely free to do so, and we will never know about it. So we don't care. We don't want to force anyone into choices like this. This is not how we operate, and that's how we think about business, open source, and the freedom of choice and sovereignty. So that's just wanted to reiterate that.
Super cool. Maybe then let's iterate for the future, like how what is saving life has not been happening for a couple of weeks now. What is the current planning for interacting with the community? You said you were more active on Discord, which I saw as well. So Discord is the place to go, but like, what is to expect? When will the next Saving Life happen? Will it be a Thursday, Wednesday as today? I think from a time perspective, 3 p.m. CET is I think the time that works for all of us. But Like, what's for the future? What can people
Do
expect
do you mean like the next one we were thinking about in terms of the
both
technical one, or just like
for the future in
going forward?
general? Yeah, yeah. So you already meant now
Yeah,
you said we're thinking about doing. We already have
yeah,
one more planned,
please.
but anything beyond that does not, at least for now, involve me necessarily. Maybe that's a good situation
Yeah, yeah,
to start in.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
not saying that
That's
I don't want to come on. I'm just saying we haven't talked about this yet.
no, we haven't talked about this yet. I can envision this to be like your special guest. Coming on as a user and like just giving your opinion. If you
Absolutely.
would like that, that would be fun. Um, Yeah, I haven't locked down on any kind of plan on lives. I think if and when it makes sense for us that we have information to convey and want to open it up, and for me to come on and talk about this, I think that will happen at some point. But in terms of like me saying right now, okay, see you next week, and it's gonna happen every week, I cannot do that. So I think, more than likely, what is going to happen in the next months is that we are going to have another one, which is going to be V2 focused. Daniel is going to come on and explain a little bit about I think the background, what happens, some of the technical choices, as in past lives with major developments. Just go through those, and we talk about it. Maybe the two of us, or maybe the three of us. I don't know. We haven't logged it down. And after that, we'll complete this handover, and then we'll make a decision on lives. I guess me alone talking, maybe a little bit more less ideal, but I'm open to it. So if you have any feedback on this, anyone watching it, I would be happy
You
to hear
can
that.
bring on different guests every time, of course. That would work as well.
Yeah, we could turn it into some infrastructure, and networking related.
Doesn't
Uh,
have to be within IVPN or safing. And
yeah,
I think Mike wanted
that's a good
to be
point.
on in the past as well. Maybe
Okay.
Innovative Dev would be up for it. Who knows, you know?
Okay.
I
Well,
just think,
yeah, I think it's a good idea. I mean, we might need to consider some sort of like a broadcast 1 minute delay, kind of thing,
oh, in
or
case
random, random. Of course, if they are trusted members of the community, that you know,
you're right.
then it's a different thing. But we'll see. Okay,
Anybody is not an
half,
option.
half
I
joke.
agree. I
Yeah,
understand
exactly, exactly,
100%.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Mike
Okay,
just
thanks,
said,
Mike, for the
Mike just said, happily
feedback
be
on
a
that.
guest again. Yeah, absolutely.
That's nice. That's nice. Okay, and yeah, just for that, so yeah, I'll be active on Discord. What I can also say is that we have a plans to add a Matrix server, Matrix rooms. We'll see about the approach for that. And if that happens, there's some drawbacks, some technical issues, and some other issues that we need to resolve. But it's like 90% certainty. Look, I made a promise. I shouldn't have done that, but okay. So if that
It's not,
happens, we
then
might do some bridging and some different things. That's what I wanted to say. Like that's a potential next step there for the community. And then if we build up a IVPN matrix, theoretically, that would be also like a good, bridging it to some saving channels, and people can come in and like interact with each other, and that would be great. This is something like a live chat community. This is something that we haven't done before, and we have with saving, we've come into this. Of course, I've been using IRC and different things, so I understand. But we haven't done this with IVPN, so it's a little bit of a new territory for us. But we are very excited about just like having this, having people on the time all the time. I'm very happy to see on Discord the interactions about AI and different developments, and just people helping each other, helping out each other. That's a great thing to see. That's very unique. So
yeah,
very happy about that.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. Super cool. So expectations for the future: no regular lives happening anytime soon. But communication on Discord is very much appreciated. and I want to maybe walk this a little back. You're planning on making a matrix, no promises on the when and how and
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
So yeah, and
Yeah,
and we talked about this beforehand as well. Part of the reason why Safing never had a matrix channel. There is a community one, but it's not official, and you're looking into making an official one again. And you mentioned bridges and stuff like that. Yeah, there are reasons, and I don't think that we're gonna get into them today. But
sure.
we have thought about this in the past, and that's basically why we did not, like, we decided to not do it. You have more resources. You're thinking of doing it, so good for you, and I hope it works out well. Okay. Do you have any last things? Do we want to give the people a chance to ask us last questions?
Yeah, sure. But yeah, just to give that chance while we're doing that, I wanted to mention just two things just to summarize and reiterate. Um, we are going to be putting significant resources into developing, maintaining, and improving Portmaster.
Yeah.
I just want to make the pledge again publicly. And
Yeah.
we are going to be looking at the deeper integration and better compatibility on the VPN side. But we are not going to force anyone on using IVPN if they don't want to, because we believe and appreciate like the drive towards compartmentalization, for example,
Yeah.
in certain threat models. So that makes a lot of sense to us. Um, and yeah, that's one thing. The second thing is, I just maybe this is the last time we speak on this in this platform live with you. We just want to thank you as a team, your team, for everything that you have done. Excellent product, excellent
Thank you.
community, and great foundations to build on. And we are very, very excited to, carry that forward and integrate it into some sort of suite of products to, improve people's ability to control their uh, privacy and resist surveillance. So, yeah, very, very happy about how all this went down. So,
Me too.
thank you for your work.
Thank you. Thank you very much. No, I appreciate
All
it
right.
as well. Super cool. Mike is
That's
currently
all.
writing something, I guess. Let's wait on that. And
Okay.
otherwise, I think that's a wrap
Yeah,
for today.
that's kind of like a time to wrap it up. Thank you for the moderation as well, and for everyone listening for your patience and for joining. It's very much appreciated, and it's nice to hear from you. So thank you.
Jason writes he's watching on Maria Hilferstrasse in Vienna. That's super cool. Welcome, Jason. I guess we're Safing has been in Vienna as well, so you can, if you're on Discord, let us know. Maybe you want to have a cup of coffee or something. Mike has
Yes.
been saying thank you, Raphael and Daniel, for taking all the time and effort to make Safing great and being true to privacy by handing it over to IVPN. Yeah, that really, again, we talked about this in the past, but as you were saying as well, like having maybe, because we don't know what the next things will be and if I will be involved, yeah, it is super cool how you personally, but also the team is actually heavily invested in privacy and in the privacy community, and not just for, I don't know, having a market or whatever, but actually on a
Yep.
personal level as well, and which of course also makes stuff interesting because, like, again, sharing stuff and so forth, we always understand each other very quickly, but it always makes stuff a little bit harder, and I guess people who are in the privacy space know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for the nice words, Mike.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. 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 And anybody can read what Mike has wrote afterwards. He wrote a little bit more now.
Okay.
Okay. Well then, from my end, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you again. This was fun,
It
and
is.
yeah, we'll talk about the next live. It should be in a couple of weeks, and announce it, and that will be focused on V2 and more technical discussion with Daniel involved, and then we'll see about the lives. I'll keep it in mind that I'm pretty sure that many people would be happy to see that continue. So we'll consider that.
So write questions in the comments, especially if they're technical for V2,
Yeah.
or send emails to the support, or write GitHub issues, or on Discord in general is a good place to be. Victor is having an eye out on everything there, And I guess you can still reach me on the Discord. I'm I will stick there anyway, and I love the community as well. Have been part of it for so long, and even though now Victor is leading it, I'm still happy to be part of it and participate and help any way I can. Okay, Victor, last words, and then.
Last words is, yeah, thanks everyone. Really appreciate your involvement and everything. So and for helping each other out. That's the best thing for me to see. So I hope to see that continue. Thank you.
Okay, then.
Bye bye.